I will speak to you tonight, while you will sleep, but even if don't, would you start disbelieving in me, my child? My child, I have sent this message to you because I want to change your perspective about your faith that could change with the circumstances of your life. My child, I see the places where your heart has wandered and the shadows that make you question whether I am near. You live in a world where storms rise and fall, where voices around you pull you in many directions, where disappointments seem to shake the ground beneath you. But I tell you, before the foundations of this earth were laid, I knew you. Before your first breath was drawn, I called you mine. You are not hidden from me, nor forgotten, nor lost in the vastness of creation. Every beat of your heart echoes in my eternity, and every thought that stirs within you is known before it reaches your lips. Child, you wonder why I allow seasons of silence. You wonder why, at times, prayers seem unanswered or dreams delayed. You look at the passing of days and nights, and you fear that absence means abandonment. But I tell you the truth. I do not leave. I do not forsake. My silence is not the absence of my presence. It is the deepening of your roots in the unseen soil of faith. Just as a seed must rest in darkness before breaking forth into life, so must your spirit sometimes rest in silence before rising into the light of revelation. I am not bound by the measures of time as you are. To you, a moment of suffering feels like an eternity, and a year of waiting feels unbearable. But to me, all is held in the span of my eternal hand. I weave together the days of your life, not as scattered pieces, but as threads of a greater tapestry. You see fragments, but I see the whole. You see struggle, but I see growth. You see delay, but I see preparation. Do not despise the days when you cannot feel me, for those days are not wasted. They are the times I am shaping you most deeply, chiseling away the illusions, the fears, the false securities you cling to. When you cannot hear my voice, know that I am still breathing life into your spirit. When you feel weak, I am carrying you with a strength you do not perceive. Child, your faith has wavered when storms have risen. You have asked, "Where are you, Lord? Have you turned your face from me?" But I tell you, my face has never turned away. Even in the fiercest storm, I have been the anchor beneath the waves. Even when tears have blurred your eyes, I have been the one who gathered each tear as a treasure. Even when your heart felt shattered, I was holding the pieces, preparing to make something more beautiful than you could imagine. I do not change with your circumstances. I do not fade with your emotions. I am steadfast, eternal, unshaken. The mountains may crumble, the seas may roar, kingdoms may rise and fall, but my word endures forever. And my word to you is this: you are loved with an everlasting love. Not a love that shifts when you fail, not a love that vanishes when you doubt, but a love rooted in my very being. You measure your worth by your success, your failures, your strength, your weakness. But I do not measure as man measures. I see beyond the masks, beyond the struggles, beyond the fragile shell of your humanity. I see the eternal spark I placed within you, and I call it good. You are my workmanship, fearfully and wonderfully made. Do not despise yourself, for you are the vessel through which I pour my light. When you stumble, I do not abandon you. When you fall, I extend my hand. When you wander, I pursue you. For I am the shepherd who leaves the 99 to seek the one. I am the father who runs to embrace the prodigal. I am the friend who lays down his life. There is no valley too deep, no mountain too high, no darkness too thick that can separate you from my love. I see the burdens you carry, the hidden fears you dare not speak, the wounds you try to cover. You think you must be strong to come before me, but I tell you, come as you are. Come with your weariness, your brokenness, your doubts. For I am not repelled by your weakness. I am drawn to it. My power is made perfect in weakness. My grace is sufficient for you. You strive to prove yourself worthy, to earn what has already been freely given. But hear me, child. You cannot earn my love, for it is not a wage but a gift. You cannot purchase my mercy, for it was bought with a price beyond measure. You cannot out-sin my grace. nor outrun my compassion. Return to me, not with fear of rejection, but with trust in my embrace. Do not look at the storms around you and conclude that I have left. Do not measure my presence by your feelings, for I am nearer than your breath, closer than your heartbeat. I dwell within you, and I walk beside you. My spirit whispers even now, reminding you that you are mine. You ask why faith feels so fragile. You wonder why belief rises and falls like the tide. Child, faith is not the absence of questions. It is the trust that remains in the midst of them. Faith is not a straight line upward. It is a journey through valleys and peaks, through deserts and rivers. What matters is not that you never waver, but that you return again and again to the one who is unshaken. I will not shame you for your doubts. I will not reject you for your weakness. Even the disciples who walked with me questioned, stumbled, and feared. Yet I loved them, taught them, restored them, and through them, the world was changed. If I could use those who faltered, do you not see that I can use you? Lift your eyes from the shadows of your circumstances and look to the light of my face. Do not let fear dictate your path, for fear is a thief that steals your joy and blinds you to my promises. Walk instead in trust even when you cannot see the road ahead, for I am already in your tomorrow preparing the way. Child, you are not alone. The voices of doubt are loud, but my voice is louder if you will listen. The burdens feel heavy, but my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Do not carry alone what I have already carried for you. Lay down your anxieties at my feet and find rest for your soul. Do not be deceived by the lie that you are forgotten. I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Every detail of your life matters to me. Every breath is known. Every cry is heard. Every hope is seen. When you walk through fire, I am with you. When you pass through rivers, they will not overwhelm you. When you feel the weight of despair, my hand will lift you. I call you not merely to survive, but to live abundantly. The world offers fleeting pleasures, but I offer joy eternal. The world offers broken cisterns, but I am the living water. The world offers shifting sands, but I am the solid rock. Build your life on me, and though storms may rage, you will not be destroyed. Do not cling to what is fading. Cling to what is eternal. Do not fix your eyes on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For the seen is temporary, but the unseen is everlasting. Your life here is but a breath, yet it is precious. Use it not in fear, but in love. Use it not in despair, but in hope. Use it to walk with me, to reflect my light, to love as you have been loved. Child, the road will not always be easy. There will be days when faith feels costly, when obedience feels heavy, when trust feels impossible. But know this, every step you take in faith draws you deeper into my heart. Every tear sown in sorrow will reap a harvest of joy. Every sacrifice made in love is seen, remembered, and rewarded. You are not alone in this journey. My spirit is within you, guiding, comforting, strengthening. The cloud of witnesses surrounds you, cheering you onward. Angels guard your steps, unseen yet present, and I myself walk with you, closer than you can fathom. Do not fear the future, for I hold it. Do not regret the past, for it is covered. Do not despair in the present, for I am here. Trust, child, not in what you feel, but in who I am. For I am faithful. I am true. I am unchanging. You are mine. Nothing can snatch you from my hand, not death, not life, not angels, not powers, not things present, not things to come, not height, not depth, nor anything else in all creation can separate you from my love. My child, you question my nearness when life's storms surround you, yet I have given you countless testimonies through the lives of those who walked before you, written that you may know my heart. I do not speak to you in empty words. I speak in the same truth revealed from the beginning through the lives of those who trusted me, who faltered, who wept, who rejoiced, who discovered that I am faithful even when their faith was fragile. Look, child, at Abraham. I called him from all he knew, from his home and kindred, to a land he had never seen. Did he understand where I was leading him? No. Did he know how my promises would come to pass? No. Yet he stepped forward into the unknown, not because he saw the end, but because he trusted my voice. And though he faltered at times, though he tried to grasp my promises with his own strength, still I was faithful. I gave him Isaac, the son of promise, and through him nations were born. Learn from Abraham that faith is not the absence of questions, but the willingness to walk forward even when the road is hidden. Consider Sarah, who laughed when she heard she would bear a son in her old age. Her laughter came from doubt, yet I transformed her doubt into joy. She held Isaac in her arms, and her laughter became the laughter of fulfillment. My child, do not think that your doubt disqualifies you. If I could turn Sarah's skepticism into testimony, can I not turn your wavering into witness? Think of Jacob, who wrestled with me through the night. He would not let go until I blessed him, though his strength was broken, though he limped afterward. Child, sometimes you wrestle in the night seasons of your soul. Sometimes faith feels like clinging through pain. But even in the wrestling, I am present. Even in the struggle, I rename you, as I renamed Jacob to Israel, and I mark you as mine. Do not fear the limp that remains after the struggle, for it is the sign that you have encountered me, and I have shaped you. Look at Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, imprisoned for lies he did not commit. Did it seem then that I was with him? Yet I was. My hand never left him. I was in the pit, I was in the prison, I was in the palace. What men meant for evil I turned for good, to save many lives. Child, when betrayal wounds you, when injustice chains you, do not despair. My purposes move even through the darkest valleys, and no scheme of man can undo what I intend for you. Recall Moses, who trembled before me at the burning bush, who said he could not speak, who feared to stand before Pharaoh. Yet I chose him. I placed my words in his mouth. I stretched out my arm through his staff. I divided seas. I rained down bread from heaven. Moses doubted himself, but I did not doubt what I had placed within him. Child, when you say, I am not enough, remember that I am. My power works through weakness, and my strength shines where human strength fails. Think of my people Israel at the Red Sea, trapped between the water and the army. They cried out in fear, certain they would perish. Yet I opened a way where there was no way, and they walked on dry ground. My child, when you see no escape, remember that I am the God who parts seas. I am not limited by your circumstances. I am the one who makes paths in the wilderness and streams in the desert. Consider Elijah, who called down fire from heaven, yet afterward fled in fear, weary and despairing beneath the broom tree, asking to die. And what did I do? Did I rebuke him harshly? No. I gave him food. I gave him rest. I gave him my gentle whisper at Mount Horeb. Child, when your strength is spent and your heart despairs, I do not crush you. I come in gentleness. I restore your soul. I speak not always in the thunder or earthquake, but in the still small voice that quiets your fears. Look at David, the shepherd boy who became king. He faced giants with faith, yet also knew the weight of sin, of failure, of grief. He cried to me from caves. He poured out laments and praises alike. Yet I called him a man after my own heart, because he turned back to me again and again. Child, do not think your failures cast you away. Repentance restores, and my mercy lifts. I am not ashamed to call you mine when your heart returns to me. Consider Job, who lost all he had, who sat in ashes, who questioned, who wept, who longed for answers. Yet even in his pain he clung to the truth that his Redeemer lives. And in the end I revealed myself to him, not with explanations of every sorrow, but with the assurance of my majesty and presence. Child, you may not always understand the reasons for your suffering, but you can trust the one who holds all reasons in his hands. Look at Daniel, cast into the lion's den, yet preserved by my angel. Look at his friends Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who stood firm in the fiery furnace, declaring that even if I did not deliver, they would not bow to another. And I walked with them in the fire. Child, when you face opposition, when you stand before flames, know that I am with you. Even if the world rages, even if the fire burns, my presence will sustain you, and no flame can consume what I protect. Remember Jonah, who fled from my call, who tried to hide from my presence. Yet even in the depths of the sea, I pursued him. I heard his cry from the belly of the fish, and I restored him to his purpose. Child, you cannot outrun my love. Even when you resist, even when you turn away, my mercy seeks you, my hand brings you back, and my plan will stand. Think of Esther, placed in a palace for such a time as this. She feared the risk, yet trusted my providence, and through her courage, a nation was spared. Child, you too are placed in this time, in this place, not by accident, but by purpose. Do not doubt that your life carries weight in my plan. Look at Mary, the humble young woman who said yes to my will, though she could not comprehend its magnitude. She carried my promise within her, and through her salvation entered the world. Child, when I call you to bear what feels too heavy, know that my spirit within you makes all things possible. Consider Peter, who walked on water when his eyes were fixed on me, yet began to sink when fear overtook him. Still, when he cried out, I reached and lifted him. He denied me 3 times, yet I restored him and called him to feed my sheep. Child, when fear overwhelms, when you falter, cry to me, and I will lift you. Your failures do not disqualify you from my calling, for I am the one who restores. Think of Paul, once a persecutor, transformed into an apostle. My grace met him on the road, blinding him to open his eyes. He endured beatings, shipwrecks, imprisonment, yet declared that nothing could separate him from my love. Child, your past does not chain your future. My grace transforms the fiercest enemy into the dearest servant, and I can turn all things in your life for my glory. See the multitudes who came to my Son weary and burdened. The blind saw, the lame walked, the outcasts were embraced, the sinners forgiven. Those who thought themselves unworthy found welcome. Those who thought themselves strong were humbled. Child, my Son revealed my heart, compassion that heals, mercy that forgives, power that restores. Remember Thomas, who doubted until he touched my risen wounds. I did not reject him for his doubt. I invited him to see, to touch, to believe. Child, I do not cast away those who wrestle with questions. I meet you in your doubt, and I reveal myself. Look at John on Patmos, exiled and alone. Yet I opened heaven to him and gave him visions of eternity. Child, even in your loneliest places I can open the heavens and remind you that the end of the story is glory. All these witnesses testify to you. I am faithful. I am present. I do not abandon those who are mine. So, child, when your faith wavers, recall the cloud of witnesses. When you feel forgotten, remember Joseph in prison, David in caves, Elijah beneath the tree, and know that I am the God who lifts, who restores, who redeems. When you feel weak, remember Moses, Gideon, and Peter, and know that I delight to show my strength in weakness. When you feel unworthy, remember Mary Magdalene, forgiven and chosen to be the first to proclaim the risen Christ. Your story, child, is woven into this great story. You are not alone, for the same hand that guided Abraham, delivered Israel, restored Peter, and strengthened Paul is guiding you. My Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead dwells in you. Do not look only at what is before your eyes. Lift your gaze to the eternal. The sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing to the glory that will be revealed. The night may feel long, but morning comes. Death may wound, but resurrection reigns. The cross was heavy, but it gave way to an empty tomb. So walk by faith, child, as Abraham walked. Pray as Hannah prayed. Trust as Daniel trusted. Love as my son loved. And when you stumble, rise again, for I am with you. When you doubt, cling still, for I will not let you go. When you fear, remember that I am your refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I am the Lord who delivered, who healed, who restored, who saved. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever, and you, child, are mine. From the beginning to the end, from your first breath to your last, from the depths to the heights, I am with you. My hand will guide you. My love will sustain you. My promises will uphold you. So believe not because you see, but because I am faithful. Trust, not because life is easy, but because I am unchanging. Rest, not because storms cease, but because I am in the boat with you. You are my child. I am your God, and nothing will ever change that.